Hello and welcome to this All Castles beginner tutorial. I'm gonna start off with an introduction about what I'm gonna go through, which will be, well, basically every single level in the run, and I'm gonna show off beginner-friendly strats. Well, it's gonna be beginner to intermediate level strats, so you can cover both, so you know what to do if you want to improve as well. And I will also show you a bit of backups, where you can get an extra cape, that sort of stuff, which can help out in the beginning. Just to get this out of the way in the beginning, I'm gonna be doing this on the practice card for Super Mario World, which if you're playing on console or emulator, it doesn't matter. This practice card really helps out. So as you can see, I have loads of extra paths to take, and I have a bunch of extra utilities to use, as switching, well, adding Yoshi's, changing my power-ups, etc. But everything is gonna be like in an actual run, and this is just to make it easier for me to record this. So with that said, let's just start. And as pretty much everyone knows, Yoshi Island 2 is super easy. You can basically do whatever you want. The only important parts are that you jump down ledges, because if you don't, you will lose P-speed. And make sure to not grab this midway. In the first world, well, in the first 3 levels, we do not want to grab the midways, since that will make the strats in the first castle more difficult. So avoid grabbing the midway, and then just run through this with P-speed. And there are no enemies in your way, pretty much. Just jump over all of them. No issues at all. I'm not gonna spend more time on this level, because it really shouldn't be needed. Run through it 2 or 3 times, and you should get it every time. But yeah, as I said, let's just continue on. That level is really easy anyway. And on to Yoshi's Island 3, the second level of the run. Straight away, you will notice that most people decide to jump on this box onto the next box, since that's the fastest strat. If I remember correctly, this is an 8 frame window, so it can be a bit tricky for new runners. But it shouldn't be too bad. So basically what you're gonna do is just hold right and hold Y at the start, and then you want to jump about here. I'm just gonna show you. There you go. So yeah, just about here is where you want to jump. Exactly where it depends on, well, input lag and preference. But yeah, this is what I aim for. So just do a tap jump here, like quick hit the jump button, and then do a full jump from this box onto the next one. So it's gonna look something like this. So as you see, that is way quicker than trying to do something like this. Now it's important to know that even if you decide to do it this way, you can get P-speed there already in the beginning, which if this strat is too hard for you, then you really should practice with P-speed anyway. So if you want to do it with P-speed, just make sure that you get up here and land far left on this platform. Short spin jump, just run over there, and then jump, and you will have P-speed. Make sure to jump just a small jump here, and then small jumps, so that you can get into the normal groove of the level. Another important part of this level is that to get the fastest time, you do want to land and run as long as possible on these brown platforms. Because the thing is that the more time you spend on them, the more Mario gets pushed forward. So that means that if you spend enough time on these platforms, you can actually gain a full in-game second at the end of the level. So I'm gonna go run through it once and get the good time, and then I'm gonna show you the difference with the bad time. And once again, avoid the midway. So as you can see there, I got a 259 on the in-game timer. I'm just gonna leave and re-enter the level. And now I'm gonna purposely not run on the brown platforms that much. If I can even do that, it's in my muscle memory, but I will try. And yeah, as you can see, I got a 258, and it's purely because of not running on the brown platforms enough. So it's not important when you're starting out, but it's something to think about when you're playing and learning this level. And onwards to Yoshi's Island 4. This is once again not really much to think about. Basically, you can run through this in any way you want to. I'm just gonna show you the visual cues and the jumps that I do. So I do the first jump, but well, when I'm up at about this point, when this background thing disappears, well, when I pause it, and a full jump makes me land just here. And I spin jump onto the next one, spin jump, land here. Now, here you will see a lot of people going for shell jumps. That is, like, you do not need to do that in the beginning. Doesn't say much, and it's really not important. But what you should try and do instead is actually killing the shell. Because if the shell is active and you don't do a shell jump, you will lose some lag time. So what that will look like is something like this. So as you see, I try and land early on this part, so I can quickly kill the shell without slowing down. And once again, we want to stay small for this entire part. Oh, I missed the shell, but it doesn't matter, it's a small thing. But once again, just something to think about when you're starting out. So that's basically how we want it to look. And trying to stay small all through this level as well, so you will see why in the next level. And then, yeah, you just go through here and run into the goal. It's now into Iggy's Castle, the first castle of the run. And what you will do first is you will try and jump under this Koopa. It's not as tight as it seems. It's really easy to do with practice. And this is one of the reasons why we want to stay small, because that makes it a lot easier. So yeah, just run to the edge and then jump, do a spin jump to get under him. Just like that. Then you do not want to hit this P-switch, so just jump over it. Like that. And then the same thing here. We want to jump under that Koopa, so just a small spin jump. You can optimize this cage in a lot of different ways. And you will see top runners do different things here. But I'm just gonna show you basic simple thing that you can do, which will, well, it's just gonna be easy for you when you're starting out. So yeah, just do something like that. The important part is jumping past the Koopas. And as you can see, you can get a 280 door really easily. If you try to go faster, you can get a 282 door at best, without doing ridiculous strats. But yeah, in the second room, you really want to grab this flower, because this is going to be used throughout the entire run. and this is the quickest way to get it. And then in the fight, my strat is just shoot 2 fireballs straight away, jump, shoot 2 more fireballs. You will see better players do a slide strat and shoot, and well, it's a bit quicker, but starting out, this is really the easiest way to kill him. And that is already done with World 1. And with a bit of practice, you will get... well, you will beat World 1 close in time with the top runners, actually. You will not lose a lot of time. So this is where the run really starts. World 2. You'll see a lot of resets here, and this is where it starts, where we start to use the cape. So starting off in Donald Plains 1, we want to grab the cape. I'm gonna show you the cape grab I do. So it's basically like that. I run up until this point, do a full jump, where I first go to the right and then land on the, well, Super Koopa, grab the cape, and then get flight. You will see other people doing strats where they shoot that guy. But yeah, you can just try different stuff out and see what works for you. This strat is what I prefer to do. And when you start off, you will often hear people speak about flight speed, etc. But that's not important when you're new to the game. Just learn how to fly with the cape. Always hold Y and tap left at the correct timing to stay up in the air. You need to be above the screen at this point so that you don't hit this pipe. You want to go over it and then grab the key and go into the keyhole. But if you do manage to hit the pipe, I'm gonna show you what you can do as a backup. So let's say that I'm messing up a bit, flying a bit low. That means that when I reach the pipe here, oh, well, you can do that as well, and then you can actually regain flight doing it like this. Yeah, hit the pipe, oh, can't go up. Then you can actually just do dive bomb and then glide into this gap. It lines up really well. So what you want to do is hold down as soon as you hit the pipe, and then as soon as you're below it, hold left again, and you will glide up into that hole. If you fall down here, the easiest thing in my opinion is, well, kill that plant and then just fly up there again. Hopefully you won't fall down there, so I'm not gonna show it again. But yeah, just kill that plant and then run back and forth until you have flight, and then spin jump up there. And yeah, exiting this level you're supposed to have a flower and a cape. And on to Untitled 1. This is a level where, well, it's the first water level, and the first important part to know is holding down makes it a lot easier to swim. As you can see, here's me without holding down. For every time I press B, Mario gains a lot of height. But if I'm holding down, he's not going up like closely to as much. So it's a lot easier to control him. And then here, at the part where I want him to go up even quicker, I hold up, which makes him just go up quicker. So in water levels, you can use the D-pad and press up or down depending on what you want to do. And it can really help you to control Mario. And most runners will go into this pipe and try and grab a shell. The thing is, it doesn't really save a lot of time. So if you feel uncomfortable, I'm gonna show it to you afterwards. But if you feel uncomfortable with doing that strat, just remember that you don't lose more than like 1 or 2 seconds by just going through it like this. Just skipping the shell completely and just swimming through it. But yeah, if you don't grab the shell, you can grab that block instead. And then pick up the P-switch. And in Super Mario World, you can be underneath the level. So, since you don't die here, the easiest thing is just go underneath. And since you're holding an item, Mario is swimming upwards automatically. So you only need to hold right. So hold down until you're down there, then just hold Y and right. And you will get up here, spin the fishes out of the way, and then kill that one. If you feel uncomfortable with throwing the P-switch up, as I did, you can just just go like this and then kill the fish. The important part is do not lose your cape, because that will lose a lot of time, of course. So find a strat that suits you and make sure to not lose the cape. And now I'm gonna show it with grabbing the shell. Once again, it's not a big time save, but if you want to go for it, it's not that difficult to pull off. So just spin jump after this block. You will grab the shell automatically, and then you want to fly to this pipe as soon as possible. So try not go high, because as you can see, you can go really high, but that loses a lot of time. So instead, as soon as you have the shell, just let go of the A button and reach this pipe instantly, or well, as fast as you can. And then this first fish is always possible to just spin kill with the shell. So just spin straight away. Now you saw, for just a frame, I touched this floor part here. And that makes it so that if I would still have the shell and try to kill this fish that is gonna be in the way, I would lose my shell. So it is important that you do not touch the ground there, so that you can kill that fish like this. See, that is what happened if you touch the ground there. And you go a lot slower without an item, so really do your best to avoid touching the ground. And then this fish here, if you're just holding right, he is gonna steal your shell as well. It's not a big deal since you have the P-switch straight afterwards. But it's still better if you can avoid losing your shell. The best thing to do is to just time it properly so that you can go between the fishes. But if you can't, just do a quick left-right and hope that you're doing it correctly. Then grab the P-switch and do exactly what you did before. See, that is what you can do. But yeah, doesn't really matter if you lose the shell there. You get the P-switch soon enough anyway. And that's a 2:52. That's the optimal time that you can get in the level. If you lose your cape in this level, the best thing to do is really to go back here and grab the cape at the start again. Just make sure that you still have the flower in reserve, because you want to keep this flower for the bosses coming up, which since it will save you a bit of time. But yeah, going into the first ghost house. This ghost house is actually a really easy one. Just run to the right in the first room, and then fly underneath the booth and enter the door. Just as simple as that. Here in the second room, all you need to do is hold right until you reach the stairs. Once you reach the stairs, go left and then spin jump, and you will go up until, well, you will go up to this door, and it leads you to the end. As simple as that. there are no tricks, nothing special to do. That's what you should go for. Now, Dawn of Flames 3 is not just a pure flyover. It has some things you can do in the beginning to speed it up. I see a lot of new people doing it like this, because running back and then running forward to get flight speed. Because if you just run right here, this is not enough space to get P-speed so that you can fly. So what top runners do is to jump here and then fly from that part. The thing is that a lot of new runners find that difficult and just do something like this instead. The thing is, you should still go for that rather than going this way, because I will show you a backup which makes you lose minimal amount of times. So if you miss that, just spin jump that guy and then spin fly up here and you can fly. So try and get that flight. You missed it, just jump, land as early as you can, spin jump in, spin fly, and then fly. The rest of this level is just super easy. Just tap left, make sure to stay in the air, fly to the goal. And no, it's important that you do not jump down from this ledge. Since you don't have P-speed already, you want to just run down it and trying to get P-speed as early as possible. Because if you jump, it's just gonna be, you're not gonna get P-speed. So instead, land early and just run down. Yeah, just for completion's sake, I'm gonna fly to the end. So you can see me finish the level. And there we are. Now in the next level, what you want to do is going to depend on if you're going to do a trick which is called Vanilla Dome 1 Wings, which will be coming up in the next world. I will show you what to do if you want to grab Yoshi and try and do that trick. It is a fairly difficult one, so I will also show you what to do if you don't go for it. But for now, let's start with grabbing Yoshi in this level. So once again, if you want to do Vanilla Dome 1 Wings, you want to grab Yoshi here. So what I do is that I can fly it, and then I fly rather low so I can see the level. So when you are here at the second hammer bro, I'm gonna show it again, so that you can count the hammer bros. See, there's the first one. And here's the second one. I just hold left, so that I float a bit. And then I try to land it so that I can spin jump the Yoshi block and then bounce on the Gloomba, which means that I can land on Yoshi instantly without losing any time. Then with Yoshi, just run like this, eat the berry, oh, and jump a little bit earlier than that. Yeah, just gonna show you again so I can show the rest of the level. See it here? That's the best way to grab Yoshi. It's not a big deal if you don't get it. But yeah, just jump with Yoshi as far as you can, land, and then fly again. There are quicker ways to do the level. Well, to do the end part with Yoshi. But it doesn't lose much time at all, so just do that and you will get a good time and you will be completely safe. Now, if you don't have Yoshi, well, if you don't get Yoshi, which means that you won't intend to do Vanilla Dome 1 Wings, just fly through the level underneath the clouds. Hitting the clouds will make you lose flight, so fly under them and then just fly to the goal. And there you have it. So if you don't grab Yoshi, it's just a normal flyover. Make sure to not get hit, and you will be completely fine. Going on to Murt's castle, it's the first castle where you have a cape, and you will use it a lot. Starting off in room 1, what you want to do is do a spin jump and then spin fly up here. This jump is like you need to cut it a bit tight, and a lot of new runners do struggle a bit with it. And then that happens. If you don't get flight here, what I like to do, I'm gonna wait for that guy to move. Stand about here, then just run left and fly. So you need to run under this guy, and you want as much space as possible. So stand where this guy the guy on the right can't hit you, and then you just time it properly and fly up. What you also can do to make the first jump a little bit easier is do a left-right here in the beginning. So you run to the left first and then right. That means that you don't need to do as tight of a jump there, and it's easier to get up to where you need to be. In this room, just go through the pipe that you came from as quickly as possible. Here in this room, as you see, it's based on cycles. So what you want to do is try to get up there on the optimal cycle. And you're gonna fly up there, of course. Something important is that if you try and cut your flights tight, you will lose flights. That is because this game has a flight meter which is invisible for you. And that means that if you haven't been in a flight state for long enough, you will not be able to get flight afterwards, so you're just gonna make a small jump like that and not get flight again. So you actually need to go a bit further out on all of these than you would think. So go a bit to the right, go a bit to the right. Now you don't need to grab this spring. It is faster, but it's only a 3-frame window to grab it. And it makes the ending more difficult. So since this is a tutorial for beginners, I'm gonna show you what to do when you do not grab the spring. If you want to grab it, check out the Super Mario World wiki, and there will be stuff there to show you what to do. So yeah, it's really easy then if you don't grab the spring to just fly up there. After that, jump up here, kill that guy, and you will not lose any time, no matter how slow you are, as long as you get the fastest cycle. Because as you see, you still need to wait for this platform to extend. And yeah, that's the room. That's all you need to do. You are going to need to practice this flight a bit. Because as I said, it's not intuitive to take out the flights. But if you practice it, you will start to understand what you need to do and what to do to make it happen. And up here you do have a cape, so you should be able to easily land on these pillars. And before you go into this boss fight, you don't want to swap to flower. So press select to drop the flower, quickly shoot 2 fireballs as fast as you can, and then jump on him, and switch back to cape. And that's the entire fight. And then you're done with World 2. Now this is where the run gets a bit more technical. I'm gonna first show you what to do if you try and go for wings. Brams have done a really good tutorial about wings that I'm gonna link in the video description, so that if you want a more in-depth tutorial on wings, you can go and watch that one. But I'm still gonna show you what I do for the wings. So at the start, do a left-right. That's a bad start. But yeah, at start do a left right. And then at the edge you want to jump so that you have flight. Now you need to release jump just a tiny bit to not get hit by the bats. So what I do is, once I start going down, release B a little bit, eat those two, and then eat that guy. Now duck and jump when you want to go dismount Yoshi. That means that you will not spin going off Yoshi, which might make you kill the shell. Because if you don't duck and jump, this is what might happen. You killing the shell that you need to perform this wing glitch with. So yeah, let's go jump a little bit, fly under that guy, eat him, eat him. Now, you want to hold up. Oh. I went a bit slow, so that is why I got hit. But yeah, now you're gonna do dupes. So what you want to do is hold up and do a tap jump and then release with the correct timing. As I said, the Bram's video tutorial for this has really good visual cues. So I would recommend watching that if you're struggling with getting the tubes. But so yeah, since that tutorial exists, I'm just gonna show you off how to do this. If you miss the dupe, what I do is just go into the left, spin the block, spin the shell, then go for it again. Now, when you have gotten the first dupe, you need to spin the shell and spin the blocks, so that this block that is underneath the dragon coin stops spinning. This needs to be solid once you get it, otherwise this trick is not gonna work. Stop the bus here again. And as you see, he's shaking a bit, that means that he's gonna wake up. So once again, just go to the left, re-stun him, and there you have wings. Now Yoshi needs to get them. Yeah, since I'm doing this slowly, trying to talk at the same time, I failed it. But I'm gonna do it again just so you can see what happened. But that is basically the idea of it, and I'm just gonna do it once more, and then if you're struggling more, I advise that you watch Bram's tutorial. Now there are quicker ways to do this, but they're also more risky and harder to pull off. So what I'm gonna do instead is show you what you're supposed to do if you do not go for that. And if you do not go for those wings, you're gonna enter this level without a Yoshi. So this is what it's gonna look like. Do a left right, spin jump. Once again, let go a little bit. You need to tap jump here, so you get the die bomb. The die bomb is so that this guy is stunned, so you can just throw him to kill the other guys with. Jump to the end and get into the pipe. Now here, since you're starting off, I would advise you just grabbing this star. It is possible to do this without the star, but yeah, grabbing the star is a lot safer, so just grab it. Here in this room, what I like to do is run until you have P-speed and just tap spin jump. And then just hold right. You don't need to do anything for him to die bomb here. Just hold right. And you die bomb so you can get that guy really quickly. And since you're holding him, I try to release him while I'm jumping into the spinies up here. So I release him, which means that I'm starting to get flights. And I do not take any damage, even though I'm running just straight into them. then try and keep P speed, reach this point. If you manage to, well, accidentally grab the shell, just get rid of it. Now, if you're just starting off and you feel like you want a backup cape, I would advise you to grab this cape, grab this shell with you, and when you pass the goal, you're gonna get a cape. You do want to have a mushroom later on, but you can grab a new one in a level later on as well. But you do not need a flower for this castle that is castle free. So feel free to grab that shell and get an extra cape so you have a backup. I'm still gonna show you what it looks like with the flower as a backup, but keep in mind that that is a possibility. Here you want to float a bit. Grab this guy, because once again items make you swim faster. So yeah, grab the bossy beetle. What I do is go underneath that fish, and I failed that time. But yeah, underneath that fish. And then I try to hit my head on this part. Because hitting my head here means that I'm gonna go underneath this fish every single time. And then something to notice is that I did not jump when I went into the water here. And that is on purpose, because water preserves your P speed. As you can see on the top left, it says P4. That means that I have 4 stages on my P meter. So when I jump out of the water here, if I do this correctly, I can keep P speed and fly over this part. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Make sure to do a quick left right there, so that you do not kill the bossy. But what is important once you are in the water here, is that you need to raise down that bossy beetle to make sure that it doesn't wake up and damage you. So do a left right, fly again. Throw the shell up here, so that the fish doesn't kill the shell. And here, drop the shell and hit it with a cape. And then just get rid of it. Fly over that part. Now the easiest thing to do is to get something called sticky flight. If you don't manage to get it, doesn't matter. Try and fly through this. And if you get hit down here, just make sure to get through without getting hit. It's not that tight. And run to the goal. Now, in Vanilla Ghost House, there are several different strats at the beginning. I'm gonna show off the one that most people use and the one that is also the one that is the safest. Just run to the right and jump over those areas. Just do a quick A-tap so that you do a spin jump. So jump over and then fly. That's all you need to do for this room, pretty much. Just make sure to not fly too high, because that means that you're gonna hit those blocks and just lose your flight. So be aware of your height of your flight. So stay fairly low, so that you avoid the blocks. Then when you reach this part, go through the booths. It won't damage you since you are in flight. So just go through the booths so that you land before the door, and then you can enter. Here, what I try to do is spin jump so I grab these 2 coins. That was a bit later than I usually do. But it lights you up quite well to land on this platform. And you need to land here since you need this P-switch. I'm gonna show it in proper speed. Now a lot of people keep P-speed and item fly with this P-switch. This is something that you will not do as a beginner. So when you get here, just make sure to get the P-switch. Do not get hit. And then just run to the right. Do not enter this door. Instead, grab a few of these coins, hit the P-switch, and enter the door. And that is all you need to do. Now, for Vanilla 3, you're gonna see a lot of different strats for all of it. I'm just gonna show you what I do. You should attempt to learn these strats, but if you don't learn them, feel free to just do it a bit slower. Oh, before I do this, I'm actually gonna go back and say that if you lose your cape somewhere in these two levels, if you lose cape in Vanilla Dome 2, for example, there is a backup cape to get in the middle of the level. So let's say that for some reason you get hit by the fish here. Let's say that, well, no, both of them died, but so let's say that you lose cape here. Then there is a backup cape for you in this block. So it's easy to get, it's fast to get, it's not out of the way. So get it and you have a cape again. The same is true for the ghost house. This is gonna be a flower, if you need one. And then if you continue on the level, you do have a cape block as well. Here. So there are plenty of backup capes in this world for you to get if you need them. And there are also backup cape in this level, which I'm gonna show to you. But yeah, at the start here, just run right. And then what I do is, as soon as I get on this gold raft, I do a tap, spin jump, and then hold it. It's like tap and then hold. So I bounce on him and get up there. Now that saves a little bit of time. It's not entirely necessary, but it's not hard to do, so it's something you should try and do. And if you do not do it, either just jump on those blocks or jump here as quickly as you can. Next is to, it's important to know that, let's just kill all of these so I can do it without being bothered. If you just jump here and try to get up, you're gonna struggle with getting flight there. So what you actually should do is when you jump under this piranha plant and land here, you should bonk against this pipe just for a tiny bit so that you can get P-speed like that. I'm gonna show it to you. Just like that, just bonk a little bit and then P-speed so you can fly. And then bounce on one of the Brorgs. That was a slow flight, by the way, but you get the idea. Now, if you do not manage to get the flight there, don't worry. Forgot what I was doing. So yeah, don't worry if you don't get the flight there. It's faster to get the flight, of course. But if you do not get it, instead of riding this raft the entire way, just spin jump and make sure to land on this second guy and then hold right, and you will reach this part straight away. Now, this is a cape, so if you have lost your cape on the way, that's a good one to grab. Because the thing is that when you reach this part, what we want to do is fly up here. So do a spin fly, and then do a normal flight here, which means that you get a dive bomb. So you can just hold right then, and you will kill both of the shells. Now you need to grab this Yoshi. So either you will activate it with a K. I will show you the proper way to do it. Like, that is how you want to do it. Land on him straight away. If you fail that, and let's say that, well, you did something so that you don't have flight anymore, get a midway, and then grab this shell and throw it up, because you do need Yoshi. Then just run up and grab him. Now this is once again one of the flights that you do not need to do, but it's faster and not too hard to learn, so I would advise you to try and do it. So just run, no jumping until you reach the platform, then fly around. This, like, we do this to make sure that the platform goes forward and is in a position where we want it to be. So I'm gonna show that again. So yeah, you need to waste some time in the air. You can see what I do, like letting go, jump, and flying up into that corner, and then flying again. And the thing is, you want to land early here so you can fly past this part. Then you want to land here and fly again to get up at the top. This is once again a cape if you do need it. And if you do not manage to fly, make sure to get a free space here and then just fly up with Yoshi. Now let's say that you failed with the flight. Let's say that you did something like this and can't get P speed. Then you just ride on the raft, no worries. It's a bit slower, but yeah, it's not too bad. Then when you reach this part, just jump so that you land up here and then just go. No need to wait for the raft anymore. Eat the guys that are in the way, eat him, and fly up here. Land in between, and you are done with the level. For this level you will see a lot of faster strats as well from the top runners. The wiki have videos for all of the strats, but this is what I would advise a beginner to learn. The faster strats are quite technical and it's not necessary to know in the beginning. Now vanilla them for what most people do in the beginning is just running right and fly up here. I'm gonna show it again. Like that. Now there are faster ways to do it. For example, I failed it. I'm jumping too early. For example, that. But when you're starting off, I would advise you to just run here and then fly. Land here and fly again. Now what I do is I land on that block to gain flight. But it can be a bit tricky, especially for new runners. So if you fail that, do not worry. Just make sure to land here and kill the Koopa that's in the way and then fly again. And you will land at this part. So yeah, you can do that as well, but yeah, if you don't manage to do it, no worries. So jump at the edge and just hold jump. You're gonna bounce on him and then jump at the edge again. Gonna bounce on him and you're done with the level. Easy. Just as easy as that. So, now we come to Castle 3. What I would advise you to do here in the beginning, as you can see, Magic Koopa is following you. And if he's left alone, he may end up in the way of you and do some real damage. So for a beginner, I would advise you to just go and kill him straight away. You could also just go right and spin to make sure that he's not gonna be in the way. But for a new runner, kill him, doesn't lose a lot of time, and you will be safe. So kill him and go to the right here. Then here you want to jump, and then hit that P-switch. Remember that you need to let go of Y to hit the P-switch. So when you are above it, let go of Y and hit it. If you do not let go of Y, I'm just gonna show you what happens. Then you just grab it. And since you're spinning, you do not want to land on any of these blocks, because that would destroy them. But let's say that you manage to pick it up, then don't worry, just jump on it, and you can get to that door anyway. But yeah, what you... Also, if you have gotten hit by Magic Koopa or anything else, this block is a cape. Once again, a backup cape if you do need it. Yeah, hit the P-switch and go into the door. If you do not go into that door, you will not get the midway. So, if you want to have a midway, that's the only way to get it. Here in the second room there are cycles again. So, there's gonna be a lot of waiting. Just make sure to always get the best cycle. I'm gonna show you what I do. You can do this in many different ways, but as I said, just make sure that you get the cycle. Here is the only tricky part, you need to duck jump. As you see, now I'm not gonna make it, because I was too slow through the gap. So yeah, you do need to duck a bit. And try to be quick. But it is honestly not that difficult, so you should be fine. And if you are too slow, you just have to wait the cycle. Do not attempt to go for it. But yeah, if you do it correctly, that is what it will look like. Then here, what I would advise is jump up there, kill that first guy. Run to the left, which will despawn that guy. And then without getting that wall clip, doing a dive bomb makes both of these guys die. So I'm gonna show that in with a proper speed as well. I'm just gonna go back there so that I can show you. And I'm just gonna do it in one go, so I don't mess up. Like, since it's cycle based, you have to do it in one go, otherwise it's not gonna work. So yeah, stand to the right, jump, spin that guy, go left, go right, dive bomb, and all of them are dead. Get P-speed, and fly to the end. Now in this fight, stand in this corner and just duck, and you will be safe from getting hit by the Boo for the most of the time. Now if you're observant, you can actually see the feet of Lemmy at the bottom of the pipe for like a frame or two before he shows up. So practice to watch for that, so that you can get quicker hits. Of course, some hits are easier to get than others, but usually you should not have any difficulties with this boss. It is possible to get hit, and I'm gonna show you what to do if you have lost your cape or both of your power-ups. So, if you do not get hit there, you're gonna have Yoshi and you're gonna have cape, and you just move on. Everything will be fine and dandy. But let's say that you have lost all power-ups and you ended up small after that fight. The quickest thing to do is go into Vanilla Dome 4. Just do whatever to get past this point. And then grab this mushroom and exit out of the level. It's the quickest mushroom you can get, and it's an easy one to get. So get the mushroom, and then go into here. Because if you're big, this block is gonna be a cape block, and you will have a cape. But now I'm gonna show you what it looks like if you have Yoshi and have kept your power-ups. Now, Cheese Fridge area with Yoshi and cape is probably the easiest level in the game. All you need to do is hold right and Y, and then at the end of this bridge, hold B. Nothing else to do, and every single time you're gonna just bounce on these saws, and you're gonna land at this platform. Now when you're here, just run to the right, hit this block which contains wings, and you're done. That's all you need to do. And you can move on to the next level. It's as simple as that. Here you want to eat this guy before he comes out of the ground, because otherwise he's gonna hit you and you're gonna lose Yoshi. So make sure to hit him, then just do a full jump so that you land up here. Then full jump again so you get up at this point. Now if you do not have a flower at this point, I would advise you to grab a flower with Yoshi at this part. As you see here, you have a roulette block which contains all the different power-ups. It does not cost you a lot of time to stop here and get the flower, and it will save you 12-14 seconds in the castle if you manage to keep it to the fight. And if you do grab it, just eat it and then can fight again. But I'm gonna show you what to do if you already have all the power-ups and have no need for a backup. So just run to the edge and fly. This is once again a fairly simple level. When you land, fly again. What I do is drop down a bit so that I land before that guy and can fly to the end. If you do not go down a bit, I'm gonna show you again what happens. Let's say that you just hold Y and B for the entire time at that second part. It's gonna mean that you will end up behind the pipe and lose a little bit of time. It's not a big deal, so if you're struggling with getting past the lightning guy without getting hit or anything, do not worry, you can just do it like this. But if you want to try to be a bit more optimal, land before him, because otherwise you will land here. And as you can see, that's a bit slower. But yeah, that's all you need to do, and then you run to the end. So now once again we are at the castle. Now this one you're probably gonna have to practice a bit. But I'm gonna try and help you as much as I can. The first room should become fairly consistent for you. At the start, run to the right, tap B to do a dive bomb, and then you need to do a second dive bomb straight away afterwards. Like that. That gets rid of all the enemies in your way. Now you can just jump through those ball and chains like I did. I'm gonna show it a bit slower and explain what I do. So what you need to do is, around here, you do a tap spin jump into the roof, which makes you end up above this edge. You will land about here. Then since you have a P speed, you can just tap the B button to do the normal flight and cape cancel through the ball and chain. So I'm gonna show it to you once again, now that you know what to look for. Like that. Be aware of that if you're a bit late with the jump, you will get hit. So if you feel uncomfortable, then wait a bit and just go through it normally. Now for the second room, a lot of people find it easier to do this with the flower. That's not a strat that I feel comfortable with. So if that is what you want to do, then check out the wiki. And it's gonna have the flower strats, so you can learn from that. Instead, what I do is I do a tap spin flight here, tap spin flight, jump, jump, and fly underneath the body boost. Now, this might be a bit difficult, so if that strat does not work for you, and let's say that the flower strat is also too difficult, it's fine to just do it slowly. I would still advise you to try and learn any of the fast strats, but if you do not do it, then that's fine. You can just fly at the end here and get to the last room. Here, it's quicker to jump up the cages than to just climb. As you see, Mario's really slow at climbing, but if you jump, you go a lot quicker. So practice this and try and jump as much as you can to go quicker. And then the important part is to not get hit. Now something to know is that on the right here, I'm just gonna go down a bit. That's actually a good point, good hit, so I can show the point. To the right here, there's a block that do have a cape in it. This is not a fast cape to take, so it's good to know that it exists, so you have the option. But if you have lost your cape, I would still suggest that you grab a cape in the next level and not in this one. But of course, that is up to personal preference. But yeah, just make your way through this room. And then, as before the boss, change to Fire Flower. This is the boss that is the most important with to have Fire Flower, since it saves a lot of time. So once again, shoot 2 fireballs and then jump on him. Now, that would kill him. And if you don't have a Fire Flower, this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna go around like this, which wastes a lot of time. But if you do manage to hit him while he's in the air like this, you will skip one of those cycles. See, he just starts throwing fire straight away. So that's a backup, which is a bit quicker. This is what happens if you do the fight the slowest possible way. And you can just compare it and see how much time it wastes. So let's say that you went for that hit and missed. So now that he landed, now you need to wait for this again. And then you can finally hit him and kill him. Instead of what I did at the beginning. 2 fireballs and jump. And then switch to the cape again. So you can see what big difference a fire in this fight actually makes. So yeah, now you're done with at least half of the run. You are going into Forced Evolution. Now in this level, there's once again a wing. You can get the wings again for Yoshi, but that strat is nothing. It's not for beginners. So I'm gonna show you what to do if you do not go for the wings. So what I do is just jump over that guy and grab a new shell at the midway. So I'm gonna show you that first. You grab this guy and fly. Then what I do is here I spin him out and grab a new one and grab the midway. And then you can fly to the end. But yeah, let's say that you lost your Yoshi earlier on. That means that you do not have a Yoshi when you enter this level. And you will not have a blue Yoshi as a result. Then what I would do is spin fly to this Yoshi block, and then just get him. And as you can see, the Wigglers have very poor hitboxes, so try to avoid them as much as you can. So grab your Yoshi, and then fly before that Wiggler. Just like that. Now, if you just hold, you're gonna get here again. Land. Like, there are several different ways that you can do that flight. Find a way that suits you, and then you're done. It's a little bit trickier than with Blue Yoshi, but it's still really easy. Now, I'm gonna go back into this level again, because at the midway in this level, there's actually a roulette block, which is the best one for best one for a backup cape in a lot of cases. So make sure that you know this level and how to get in to the midway. Because you see this block here? Since it's straight after the midway, if you have the midway, it's really quick and easy to get a cape. That's all you need to do. Like, if you have the midway, you can just enter the level, jump to this block, grab the cape. Now, I would also advise you to practice this without a cape, because if you go back here to get a cape, you're usually not gonna have a cape. Takes a little bit of practice, but it will probably save you a lot of time overall. Because as you see, you can still get to the midway quite quickly. Once you have that, just grab your cape. And yeah, like, this is gonna be the fastest way to get a cape for a long time. I'm gonna tell you once it's faster to not go back to that point. But yeah, for a long time, that's gonna be the best place to get it. Now, we're getting into Yoshi clips. Now, when you're starting out, this might feel a bit difficult, and it's like something that you're gonna struggle with. I will try and help you as much as I can, but it's basically just something that you need to practice. So at the start, dismount Yoshi once against the roof. This is to set your sub-pixel up as good as it can be. It is not guaranteed that even if you do everything correctly, you're gonna get through it, but let's hope that sub-pixel is nice. Then what you don't want to do is go into this corner, and this is the visual cue I use. When Yoshi's feet is touching the end of the bright part in the background, it's when I'm dismounting him. Just make sure that you're holding up while dismounting, otherwise this is not gonna work. But I'm gonna do it, and then hopefully you can see what I mean with the background. A lot of people use different visual cues, so you can find some that fits you better. As you can see there, I got inside the wall, but I still ended up here. That's mean that I got kicked out, and like, even though I had set up my sub-pixel as well as I could, I was a bit unlucky and didn't get it. So if that happens, try for it again. And then when you're getting kicked out like this, dismount Yoshi to change your sub-pixel. And hopefully I can just get through the wall, so I can show you what it looks like once you are through. So yeah, if you do everything correctly, that is what's gonna happen. And we do not need Yoshi after this, so just let go of him. And then this is important. Grab this block, because this block makes you swim a lot faster. So this is where the big time save is with this Yoshi clip. And something else that you want to do is grab the key, because once again that's an item that makes you swim faster. And then you just swim to the end. Now I'm gonna show you something that have been called the safe clip. It's a trick that it doesn't save time compared to doing the level normally. If you do the level normally, optimally. But I'm still gonna show it to you so that you know that you have a backup if you get frustrated with not getting the Yoshi clip. So basically you need to swim through a bigger part of the level. And when you get here, eat this fish. And then in this corner, eat this fish as well. This corner, hold down and left. And you're gonna get through just as we did in the other clip. It's just gonna be a lot slower. And as you see, you do not get the block, but you get directly to the key. So grab the key again and swim to the end. For some reason, the gold tape managed to despawn. I have not seen that ever happen in a run. So hopefully that's not gonna happen to you. If that happens, I'm just sorry, but you need to die. Like, you can't fix it in any other way. You need to actually leave the level. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And once again, I'm just gonna show you the proper way to do the level. Get through, up into this corner. See, that might happen if you mess up. I accidentally held left there, which made Yoshi go to the left. But that's fine, like, you can still just attempt this again, and then get through. You can attempt that how many times you want to. There is no limit. Now for Evolution 3, it's once more a flyover. It's an easy level. Make sure to fly before this bubble. There is a big window to fly before it. You can get flight afterwards, and it's like it saves just a few frames to fly before it, but it's so easy to just try and do it. And all you need to do is fly. Do not lose your flight and get through the level. Now the thing in this level is that you want to get the secret exit and not the normal exits. So you want to go into the pipe that I'm gonna show you in just a bit. The pipe here. This pipe is the one that you need to go through. Because here's where the keyhole is, and that is the one that's gonna give you the correct exit. And it's gonna lead you down into Roy's castle. Now this castle is the bane of a lot of new runners in this category, or in this game in general. This is a point where having the midway and being able to get a backup cape in Forest Evolution 1 is really important, because that means that you can go back and get a cape even if you fail this level. But basically, what you want to do is fly through most of this level. I'm just gonna do it once at first, so you can see what it's about. And then I'm gonna go through it bit by bit and explain. So yeah, basically like that. That's what you want it to look like. Now, what I do is try and stay quite high. And you need to time your dive bomb correctly. The trick that I'd like to do is that you can just hold left to slowly lose height. That means that even though you might be a bit higher than you want to, you can just hold left instead of doing some strange cape adjustments. And then for when to do the dive bomb, look at the pillars in the background. And when you reach this pillar, that's when you want to do the dive bomb. So just count the pillars. There you have 2, number 3, and number 4. At number 4 is where you want to start the dive bomb. Oh, that was bad by me. So every number 4, dive bomb. And then you should try and just keep flight all through this. But if you lose flight or feel uncertain about your flight, feel free to just land here, get flight again, and fly through it like this. And then what I did with flying through this part, that's a bit difficult for beginners. So if that is difficult for you, you can just land here and then jump over. Run under those and you can still get flight again. And I'm just gonna go back there and show you the ending again. See, there I had a bad height, so I would have hit that wall and not made it over. So I just boarded and jumped down there. And here you want to fly through. The thing is that you want to switch to flower here at the end. So, well, the optimal way to do it is letting go of flight and do a neutral jump, which means that you are not holding any direction on the D-pad while jumping. And that will keep your speed and you can just grab the flower. Otherwise you can just land here and then grab the flower normally. It's not a lot slower. But yeah, this is something that's gonna be difficult for you in the beginning. So you really need to practice this level. Because doing it the normal way is super slow. So you really need to learn this. Then this boss is like all the other bosses. Shoot your fireballs and jump on him and switch to cape. Now, if you manage to lose your cape in this castle, once again it's faster to go back to F1 to get a new cape. If you know the capeless strats for Chocolate Island 1, it's faster to do those. But if you're new to this category, you probably won't know them. But if you do have the cape, this is what you want to do. I'm not gonna show you how to do the cannon flight, since when you're a beginner you don't really need that. But something to keep in mind is that, well, this is just a flyover, so you want to fly through this. But something to keep in mind is that from now on, we do not need the flower. So instead we want to have 2 capes. 1 cape on us and 1 in the item box. So what I did when I started learning this category was at the end here, there's a spring. This one. Try and land before the gold tape and grab this spring and take it with you, and you're gonna get the backup cape. It's not the fastest way to do it, but it's the safest. So when you're new to the category, just get that cape. Now here's another level that is difficult for new runners. The important part of this level is that you need to fly. There's an invisible pipe at a point in this level, in this room I would say, about halfway through. And you will have a fishing bow coming towards you. So you will need to be in between the invisible pipe and the fishing bow. So you need to fly at the height where you do not see Mario, since he is above screen. But you can't fall down, because then the fishing bow will hit you. Now I've managed to avoid the pipe, so then you just go down and go into the door. But I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you hit the pipe, just so you know and are prepared for it. So now I'm gonna be a bit high. That means that... oh, yeah. That means that I'm gonna lose flights. Because the pipe is gonna stop me. I actually managed to not be high enough, but yeah. Here's a cape, by the way, if you do need it. About here is where the pipe is. So if you're too high above the screen, you're gonna stop and lose flight here. What to do then is just run through the rest of this without getting flights. Just tuck a bit so you lose P-speed and run through it and enter the door. This is a flower, no need to get it in any circumstance really. Now what you want to do is have P-speed run through here and then damage boost in between those boos. If you do not manage to do it, you can just do it like that. Bait the boo out of the way and then fly up to the end. But I'm gonna show you the fast way to do this. Like that. What is important is that you need to hold both B and A. Because if you do not hold A, you will not spin jump and will not bounce on the boo and get up there when you do the damage boost. Like that bounce will not happen if you do not hold A. But as I said, if you do not manage to do that, feel free to just bait him out of the way and then fly up there in any way you want to. And then you're done with this level again. Now, Chocolate Island 2. The important part here is to grab Yoshi, which you have here. Okay, that was a really slow grab. But yeah, you want to try and grab him as quickly as you can. Then you just go through here and get to the pipe. Jump as late as you can at the edge there, because that will make you bounce on that Koopa and you can just run to the end. If you jump too early, you're gonna get hit by the Koopa. Let's see if I can try and show that off. So, please get P-speed. I think this is gonna be early. Let's see. Yeah. Then you're gonna get hit and lose Yoshi. So, run to the edge so you don't jump too early. And just bounce on him. And then go through the pipe. And here again, jump. I release jump there. Just grab the key like that. Really simple level. As I said, the important part is keep Yoshi. Now, Chocolate Secrets. There are a few different ways to do room 1. I'm gonna show you my way, and then I'm gonna show you where backup cape is. But you can experiment a bit and see what fits you, and look at what other people are doing. At the start, hold Y and B to get over the lava pit. Then to hit this boss beetle, it's important to hold up. If you just go... I'm gonna show you. If you do not hold up, you're not gonna eat him, and you're gonna get hit. Like that. So you want to hold both up and right. And eat both of them. And this block is a cape. So if you need it, you can get that cape. So yeah, hold up, eat him, fly, bounce on that guy, and get over here. That is basically what I do. You can choose your own strats, but yeah, try and do that. Here in this part you can get P-speed and fly through it. Well, fall faster I would say. But since you're a beginner, I would advise you to just press down to kill the bosses. If you just run through here, you're not gonna kill them. So then it's gonna look like this. So you do need to press down to kill the bosses. And then try and run afterwards. So yeah, press down, kill them, then just go down. That's as easy as that. Here you want to fly again. So when you get out of the pipe, do a full jump. So you bounce on the first spiny, and then hold jump and bounce on the second spiny. And let go of jump there so you make a small jump and then gain flight again. Then you can land pretty much whenever here. Just find something that suits you. For me, I don't really have a strats where I have practiced where to land, etc. I just know the level well enough to improvise where I want to land. I say as I fail. But yeah, if you jump early, you're gonna bounce on this spiny, and that's the one that I just flew over, and that's fine. That's one way to do it. And then you can get flight here. You can fly here. You can pretty much do whatever you want to. Just make sure that you get through the level. And once again, like, you need to experiment a bit with what suits you. As I said, me myself don't have a strat for it. I just improvise when I get there every single time. Maybe not the best thing, but it's easy enough that you can do it and get through it with a bit of practice. Now, this is actually my favorite level in this run. In my opinion, it's really fun to learn and to try and get better at. And it's really cape heavy, so you need to know how to use your cape. So the first thing you want to do is spin fly here. But a quick left right so you don't lose any speed. And then the cape cancel through those saws. I'm gonna show you again. Quick left right here, because if you just hold right, you're gonna hit the wall and you're not gonna keep P-speed through here. So yeah, left right, then tap jump, hold jump, let go of everything except for Y. And then do a tap left just before that saw. So yeah, what is important here is let go of everything. Do not hold the D-pad, do not hold any buttons except Y. Just let go of everything. And you will make it under that saw with a bit of practice. And that is called crusher skip. So once again, let go of everything, just tap left, and you're under it. It saves a bit of time. I'm gonna show you what happens if you do not get it. Just fly up there, and then fly straight into this crusher. Like, once again, I did a left-right when I go through here to keep P-speed. And then since you're flying, you can cape cancel. So just fly into the crusher, and then you can fly to the end again. So I'm gonna show it to you if you do not get crusher skip. Oh, that works. Let's say that happened. Then you can still make this in one cycle. If you run at the correct time. But what I actually do is, now I failed it, but I stand here and take a pause and then go through it. But yeah, I would advise you to practice and try to get crusher skip down, because it's really not difficult once you know what to do. So once again, fly up here, left, right. And that was strange. That's not something that usually happens. yep. Fly up here. Quick left, right. Fly into the air. Jump again, and you get flight. And you can grab the midway. Now, what I do in this second room is something that you don't need to do. I tap down here. That's something that you need to do in 96 exits, since you have this block activated, and it will steal your speed otherwise. Now, it's up to you if you want to do that or not, but it's in my muscle memory, so that's what I'm gonna show. So I tap jump here, tap down there, then you just fly through all of this. I'm gonna show you once again. So what you want to do here is you want to tap flight and then hold it again, so you can land on this one and get flight. Well, so you can land on that one and still have flight. Oh, I jumped a bit late there. That's probably the most difficult part about this room. Like that, and then I do a normal flight. You can still do spin jump if you want to, and you're not supposed to go into that bottom hole. But let's say that you fail getting flight here. You can still do something to make this go faster. And that is jump through that little hole there. With a bit of practice you will get consistent at it. And it's good to know as a backup for when you fail the flight. But keep in mind that if you do fail it, you're gonna die. So yeah, I'm just gonna show this once again. And you are through. And here we have Wendy. What I try to do is just stay in the middle, watch the feet, so I can see where she's gonna spawn. And just do my best of not getting hit. And then we're into the final world. Now, if you got a hit in Wendy's castle, don't worry, because the very first block in the sunken ghost ship do contain a cape. So if you're getting hit, grab that cape, and you will be good to go. But if you're small, then you should grab that mushroom that's gonna be in that block, and then just go through it, and then go back and get a cape there. Something you want to do here is called a despawn. So you saw there I took damage twice with Yoshi, and that was on purpose to line up this boo cloud correctly. Because if you look at the boos at the right here, you can see that the two second to last boos are lined up perfectly with the end of the wall. That means that I have done everything perfectly, and a boo ring is not going to spawn at the end of this room, and I'm going to be able to go a bit faster. So that is what you want to try to do. Now I got hit, but here in this area there is usually a boo ring like you can see up there. But since I did this correctly, the boo ring does not spawn. Now, what I do to make sure that I get it to happen is I let go of down when I get here, and then hold down again after I getting hit the second time, so I land on Yoshi. Because what can happen if you're holding down and try to swim too far up is something that is called getting jackhammered. Let's just see if I can be bad enough to show it off. As you see, if that happens, that strat is not gonna work, and you're gonna lose time. So be a bit careful. Swim up, swim up. As you saw, I missed Josh a little bit, so I'm probably gonna be a little bit late here. But you can go until you see those boosts that I talked about before. Okay, that was bad. That was a perfect setup to show what I wanted to show. If I didn't just hit the wall. Let's see if I can do it again. Let's hope that left right was enough to make it out of sync. So yeah, if you look at those two boosts now, you can see that they are slightly to the left, which means that I'm not going to get the Z-spawn, but there is something we can do to fix that. And that is, here at this point, you do a right scroll. And now since I got hit after I paused, I got out of it. The boo ring still spawned, but if you do it correctly, with the right scroll, you can get rid of this boo ring even if you fail a little bit. And when you get to this boo ring, since you have Yoshi, you can just go through it. And you will not waste time. So just try and swim through it, and then go into the pipe. Here, this room is full of lag. Try and kill the falling Koopas to reduce lag. Not much else you can do really. Then what I do is, at the end of this second coin row block, well, at the end of the second row of coins, I start holding right, so that I line up perfectly with that gap in the wall. And now you can see I missed to eat one of the Koopas at the top, which means that I have a bit more lag than I would usually have. But once again, here are the first coins, the second coins, hold right, and you're gonna get into that hole. And then you need to learn where the orb is, so try and just land on it. But yeah, that room is super simple. Just fall through it and try to not get hit out of Yoshi. Now in this level, eat the first mole and fly up here. Now when you're new to this, this won't be the fastest way to do this start. But when you're new to this, I advise you to just run into that wall. And that will make sure that you will get flight. Because I'm gonna show you what can happen otherwise. See how I didn't continue to have flight here? Because the flight meter was not reset yet? That can happen quite a lot, and if you do it incorrectly, and it will make you get hit some of the time. So just run into this wall to be safe and then fly. Then you know that your flight meter is gonna be fine. Then you want to go the bottom path here, fly over that guy. You want to eat this guy, eat that guy, and then bottom path again. Eat this guy, and fly through. I fly over that guy and just jump over that guy. You can also do something like this, where you jump off Yoshi and kill him and then go through. So that's pretty much up to you, which one you choose. But yeah, it's not really much to do in this level, more than learn the route and learn which moles you need to eat. It's just a bit of practice and then we'll get it. And on to Valley of Bowser 2. I'm gonna show you two ways to do this. The first one is the easiest. If you scroll right when you enter this level, you can just fly through this without getting hit by anything. You do not need to worry at all. Or if if you scroll left when you enter this. No, it's the right scroll. So yeah, scroll right. I failed it. So yeah, scroll right and then just hold flight. Lol. It's been a while since I've done this with scroll, but yeah. Scroll right and then fly through this. And you will be fine. Now what I do and what most people do is just flying through it normally. It's not difficult. Land on that second pillar after the Koopa. So game flight here. Land after the Koopa. Oh. I jumped a bit late. I'm messing up since I'm jumping later than I'm used to. It was the right scroll before that messed me up. So yeah, like that. And do not hit the Koopa. There we go. Land after the Koopa. Land on that platform. And I did an early jump, but you're supposed to bounce on that Koopa as well. This one, jump, and you're done. So once again, land after the Koopa, fly this one, fly past everything, and grab the midway if you want to, and then go to the end. Now in this room, there is a backup cape if you do need it. It's hidden off screen, so you need to hit the block here, and then jump off Yoshi to get it. If you jump with Yoshi, you can get squished and die, so that will be really bad. So just jump off Yoshi, get the cape, and then get these wings, and you're done with the level. Now, the Valley Ghost House. The first room is easy. This is gonna be a flower, by the way, so it's not gonna be of use for you. Spin jump up the stairs, and then you can just fly to the end here. So it's super easy. Enter the door. Now, what you can do is hold jump and duck, and you will hit that P-switch straight away. You can see that it's faster than if you would do something like this. It's not a big thing, but it's so easy to do, so you should just do it. Be careful about this blue laser. You should duck under it, because otherwise you can get hit. And then just fly to this door. Now this is the hardest part of this level. You will need to do something called Sexy Slide, and I'm just gonna show it off first. I'm gonna explain it afterwards. Okay, so that was a slow version of it. But you want to get into this gap so you can get the key and get into the keyhole. So basically what I do is, as soon as I enter this room, I hold left. Then when I reach this door, I do a spin jump. So spin jump. And then when I'm in between these pillars in the background, I start holding right. Right and down. Holding down is important, because that means that you will get into the gap. And as you can see, if this happens, you should just hold right down and mash the B button, and you will jump in there. And that is what happens when you do it correctly. You just glide straight through it. And you get the key and go into the keyhole. Now, Larry's Castle is a difficult one for a lot of people. In the first room, what you want to do is not use this snake. You want to fly up. So just fly, And try to time it so that you fly through all of this. For beginners that might be a bit difficult, but the good thing is that if you mess up and say lose flight without losing cape, of course, you still have this platform to regain flight at. So don't worry, if you end up here, just start a flight when you're up there. What I usually do is start fairly far back, so I can go up against that ceiling and then just fly through it. But yeah, optimally what you want to do is just flying straight from the start to the end. Now, the fastest way is to go through this door, but when you're just starting out, I might suggest going down here and take the midway, just so you're safe. And then, if you have a backup cape, avoid this mushroom. Now, when you enter this room, scroll to the left straight away. And then do it like that. I'm not gonna show you the fastest way to do this room, since that's too difficult for a beginner. But it's on the wiki, once again, if you do want to learn it. But yeah, scroll left in the beginning. Oh, I jumped too late. And then tap jump a bit, so that you have flight. And then, pretty much, like, when you're a beginner, you don't really need to go that fast through this. Pretty much make sure that you have a cape, right scroll here, and do not spin jump on Magic Cube at those blocks. And then you will make it to the end. Now this fight, what I do is just do this. Now you need to be careful. If you enter the boss door with flight, you will have flight going into this boss fight. And that will make you, well, die basically. So be aware of that. Go, like, maybe stop for like half a second or something before the door, just to make sure that you do not have flight into that fight. And now going into Bowser's Castle, what you want to do is have door flight for room 2. This is what you would want to do. If you do not manage to do it, let's say that you overshoot the door and miss like that. Oh, you can choose between going left, right here and then fly, or you can just jump and glide with the cape and get to the end. It's up to you, but try and do the door flight that I did at first. Now you want to go into door 5, and if you do have a backup cape, this is the fastest thing you can do. Just start running straight away. Then jump into that pillar, crusher. And then grab the cape, and then you will be through here. Now, since you're a beginner, you probably want to keep your cape. So, instead, just try and time it. So that you get through this with both of your capes. It's not a lot slower, but if the first strat you can do if you want to optimize it. Now the dark room, it's pretty much just practice to keep P-speed. It's not a big deal if you fail it, like, it's not gonna save you or lose you a lot of time. And then the Bowser fight, I'm not really gonna go through it much. I'm gonna send you, in the description I'm gonna put a link to LinkedIn's Bowser fight tutorial. The only thing I'm gonna show is how I do this fight, and especially the ball skip. Because I do the ball skip differently than what he do in that tutorial. Oh, that phase 1 is different as well, because I go from the right instead of the left. But it's the exact same thing as in LinkedIn's tutorial. It's just mirrored. So check out the cues in his tutorial and then mirror it, and you get what I just did. So yeah, this is what I do for ball skip. Kick that Koopa, stand in the left until Bowser drops a ball. And then instead of flying with this guy, I just wait here and then with the timing throw him up. And it works just as well as other ball skip. It's just easier in my opinion. But yeah, once again, that's just up to preference, and you should check out the Bowser Kill tutorial by LinkedIn. And compare with what I did and see which one you prefer. And then you just kill Bowser. It's easy as that. And I overshot the last hit. But yeah, that's it. That's the entire run. And that's time. So now you know how to do all castles. I hope that this tutorial have been helpful. And if there's anything else that you want to know, I'm gonna show you. Well, in the description, I'm gonna put a link to the Super Mario World speedrun Discord, where you can get help from a lot of knowledgeable people. But this is it from me, and I hope that I will see some new Old Castle speedrunners. Thanks for watching.